So we'll start with the first presenter for the day. The first topic for the day is making an Aramb, creating India's first online resource portal against CSA. Our presenters are Uma Subramaniam and Siddharth Pillai. Aramb, an initiative by Prerna and ADM Capital Foundation supporting communities to safeguard children from CSA. Uma has over 9 years of experience of working with children at risk across India. She is a professional social worker and trained in the International Break the Silence module by the Philippine based Stairway Foundation. For the last 9 years, Siddharth has worked with nonprofits across India managing communications. He has worked on several successful online campaigns and petitions on a variety of human rights issues in India. Their insights and passion to create an impact in child protection in India led to the creation of Aramb. The duo put together www.arambindia.org, India's first online resource portal against child sexual abuse and exploitation. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you, the Foundation, for giving us this opportunity to present our journey. For those of you who don't know, the word Aramb means a beginning, a start in Hindi. And it was indeed a start for us at the initiative, which is put together, like Suchi mentioned, two organizations that believed in the power of collaboration. Our partners, Prerna, I don't have to give an introduction about Prerna, but Prerna has been working for the last 30 years on anti-human trafficking issues, working with the most at-risk children in the red light areas of Mumbai, putting an end to gender-based violence and working on child protection. And the ADM Capital Foundation that's been working since 2006 across Southeast Asia, funding and strategically supporting organizations working with children at risk. So this morning before we start, we thought we'll take you on a quick flashback. Last year on ASC CSA, it was the first public announcement on 17th of April that we said we're going to launch Aramb India. So we just thought we'll take you, we'll give you a little flashback of ASC CSA. So can I request you to play the first AV, please?
So Prerna is starting something called a National Resource Center, which will be like a one-stop shop for all the resources, all that we have learned, all that we have unlearned, all that is happening in this space will be available on this portal or the website. And it won't just be lying there. We'll ensure the job of the National Resource Center is to keep connecting to people. So yesterday there was a very young lady who asked this question, what do I do? What is it in POCSO about the police? Now she's young, but I have seen it and I get agitated. Don't you know that? It's there in POCSO. But she's young, she doesn't know it. So this National Resource Center would address the young who have just come into the space and also the veterans, who want to know more about what is happening, not just nationally, though it's called the National Resource Center, we are hoping to have information across the globe. So whatever is happening in other countries, the best practices, what worked, what didn't work, on this website. And it is going to be a very, very interactive website. So we'll have somebody like Rahul Bose, we'll have somebody like Vidya, we'll have somebody else who will hopefully join and, make it as interactive.
So that was, for those who don't know, that was Mrs. Preeti Patkar, who's the founder of Prerna and the Aramb Initiative. So we did make the announcement last year, and here we are to tell you a story. I love stories. Tell you a story of how we, not only as Aramb, but we, as in each one of us sitting in this room, put together India's first online resource portal on child sexual abuse and exploitation. Before that, just to take you all on a little journey of how did we decide to do this? What was this big need for this online resource portal? Why did we think that it was important? Like Suchi mentioned, I was trained in this international module by the Philippine-based Stairway Foundation. And when I was trained in this, I got really charged up and I said, I must take this module to India and we must implement it in India. And then one said, hang on, let's just step back. Let's just see what exists in India before we make that decision. And that was really the starting point when we started thinking about what is available locally, can we see what's available in terms of resources? Because one assumes that there was not much that was available. And some of our observations as we started this quest was there was a lot of information, like there is a lot of information in this room, there was a lot of information across this country, but the scatter was too great. There was information present online and offline. And like I said, it was absolutely scattered. To give you a very simple example, if I was a layperson and I went on Google and I said child sexual abuse in India, I would land up on random links with absolutely no proper information as to how I process this information. I don't know how to do it. And if I don't have a connection to the child rights sector, I really don't know. I really was depending on stumbling upon some kind of information to get a lead. And I also wanted to mention that there were networks like FACSE who have been working on this issue since the 90s. And they had so much of information, wealth of information that was undigitized, that was ready to go. And we also felt that it was important because somebody like a young person who wants to make an impact on this issue would like to learn more about the resources that are available in this. Whatever was available was super complex. We realized that if, especially when it comes to medical protocols, the law, the GRs, so if I wanted to know about what's the new law, I have to go to the WCD website and I have to look at this scanned copy of POCSO, which was absolutely not readable at some point. Also, things like the medical protocols. I have to go through a 300-page document to understand what are the basic procedures that a victim should and should not, go through when she goes for medical examination. And this complexity we felt that was limiting engagement of a majority of audience in this country. We also realized that CSA is an issue which has to be addressed with multiple perspectives. Like somebody was saying yesterday, oh, there is a journalism angle to this. How do we engage them? And what was available at that time was predominantly speaking to a group of parents, possibly children, but it wasn't really addressing the issue from multiple perspectives. At least it wasn't available out there in the public domain. It was available with organizations sitting in this room. We realized that there was a need to go local. Because like I said, we have stalwarts in child protection sitting in this room, in this country. And of course, there was a need to learn from the international best practices, but we had to adapt it to a local audience. We had to realize that there are people who do not speak English. There is a need to look at resources in Hindi, in Marathi, and take it to the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and take it beyond the metropolitan cities. So we felt that there was also a crisis of representation, especially among the smaller groups. So we would, after every training program or every conference like this, we would come up with situations where, like it was mentioned in the AV, like a young person would come up and say, I want to be a part of this movement. How do I be a part of this movement, And the smaller groups were seeking a platform. And I remember this meeting that I had with Rahi way back in 2011 when I asked Anuja about this whole thing of, is there a platform? The first thing she said, there is none, but I think there should be one. So there was clearly a need for, representation. And this is the biggest thing that one feels when one works in the sector. We all are doing amazing work, but there is a crisis of collaboration. And also because we are all human beings. We have our own egos, we have our own little good agendas, but we felt it was important to move beyond that to make an impact on CSA, which meant that we had to collaborate. We had to collaborate with not just NGOs and civil society members, but also other stakeholders like the government, like the police, like the media, like the corporates and the investors, etc. And we needed a platform for that. And there was one more issue of very grave importance. And a disclaimer is, if I offend anyone in this room, my apologies. Yeah, it's not intended. There were resources on the internet that scared the living hell out of a person. So just look at this image. Yeah, my uncle slid his hand under in my underwear. This image is available on Google, and this is used as one of the images for prevention of child sexual abuse. So in office, we did this experiment where we just tried putting some other captions on this image, and this is how it looks. It could go with any horror movie that's present. This is another image of child sexual abuse, prevention image, not of child sexual abuse, but these images are used to raise awareness on child sexual abuse. And one realized that there was a need to move away from this fear-based approach. If we're talking about protection, it has to be something that doesn't scare the hell out of me. If I am a parent, I need to look at this and go, I think I will be able to protect my child. So we wanted to move away from the fear-based approach that was existing online and sometimes offline. And child sexual abuse need not mean that you always need to show a poster of a girl sitting in a dark room with her zip open. We believe that it need not be that all the time. So thus we said, let's look at creating a centralized resource portal which not just aggregates information, it also curates the existing information. It fills the gaps. We create information where it's needed, but we do not reinvent the wheel. We will simplify concepts, we said. We will demystify, these big jargons. We will try and tell the common public what it is in the most simple form. We will also try and address all the stakeholders who are involved in this issue. We said, let's look at reaching out to organizations and smaller networks that need support like this. Let's connect them to the big ones those have already done it, so that the smaller ones don't have to go through this, process of learning the same things again. We also said that we have to, like I said, we have to keep this platform engaging and dynamic. We had to move away from the fear-based approach, and we said, let's talk about protection as a collective responsibility in a way that people say, yes, I can protect my child. And it's simple, it's easy, it's doable, and it's not rocket science. And then we asked a fundamental question, like all of us do. We are in the NGO sector. We are always pressed for resources. And we said, why do we invest in something like this? Why invest in resources? Because we believe that if you're talking about breaking the silence, and if we are talking about reaching out to a large audience, resources are key. Good resources are key. There are so many people who do not have access to prevention programs. These days with technology, like yesterday someone was saying, everyone has a mobile phone. Everyone goes online to find out about stuff. And there is a lot of bad stuff out there. The only way you can counter it is by putting out good stuff there so that people get educated, and through that comes awareness. We also realize that after a lot of trainings, people ask us, what do we do next? How can I keep myself updated? And we ourselves didn't have an answer for that. We said we need something for people to go back to. We need something which is constantly updating their knowledge and keeping their knowledge and their quest for knowledge alive. And thus we said we could, make this happen. We also realized that we looked at other movements like the environment movement or the gender movement, the women's rights movement, and they had some fantastic resources that had made global impact. And we realized, why are we falling behind? Why is, the whole scene on child sexual abuse prevention in India at least falling behind? We said we can clearly bridge this gap and start to make an impact. And also, the Aramb's motherships, Prerna and the ADM Capital Foundation, had clearly set precedents by that. For those of you who don't know, in 2006, Prerna started Asia's first anti-human trafficking center that was a physical structure that was started in Mumbai, with the similar ideology and ethos that I just mentioned. It had a small online component, because that time, we were also not in the technological era that we are in. And ADM Capital Foundation had invested in something like water, and we created the China Water Risk, which is a portal that educates investors on how to invest smartly, looking at this whole aspect of water in China. So that was a lot of fallen apples. So these were all the ideas that we had, and we said we must do this, and we must do that, and we must, attack this with this angle. Now I'm inviting my colleague Siddharth Pillai to continue this story and tell you all whether we did it, and if yes, how did we do it? Just this.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so I think at this point of time, the light bulb moment was when I sort of came into the organization, and I'm going to discuss my brief. Okay, and at this point of time, I have no idea about sort of the sector, and I think ACCSA 2014 was my first day of work officially. So yeah, so this was my brief. So I knew my end point. The end point was something called aarambindia.org. We knew that it would be India's first online resource portal on the issue of child sexual abuse. Okay, no suspense, we made it, and it still currently is the only online portal on child sexual abuse in sort of based in India. It would be like how Preetitai said, it would be a one-stop shop for all information that you could use. The information on it, I was very clear because I'm an outsider and I could see the complexity in it. I was very sure the information needed to be simple, it needed to be straightforward, it needed to be linear. And of course, like, the information, like on the internet, everything is a centipede, everything goes viral. The information needed to have the capacity to go social. The platform should be dynamic. It would be sort of updated with news and views on the issue. So many things are happening every week. How do we keep up? We need a centralized platform. I think all of us here have felt that necessity at some point or the other. How do we keep up? We have our regular work. We need to keep up with what's going on. Like we said, yes, very clearly, an online platform, it should be a conversation. It should promote collaboration. And of course, it should be an aggregator and curator of knowledge. And it should be empowering. It should not be fear-based. It should be an approach like, yes, parents, yes, reporters, you can do it. We can do it. We can learn and we will pass that learning curve. And yeah, the information on the issue should be set free. Right now it's trapped. It's trapped in our mind. It's trapped in huge government GRs. We need to set that information that is already there, this huge capital, free out into the public domain. Yeah, so then this is part of my brief. I think, we got 8 months to do it. Yeah, so every journey needs a beginning, and like, what is a better beginning than, like going and meeting all the stalwarts? I mean, someone told me Gandhiji did the same thing, not like, I have epic notions of anything, but I think what we did was very right. Like, we met all the stakeholders involved in the country, not just those who are only working on CSA, but there are other organizations, like, for example, like Tarshi, who's not focused on CSA, but fantastic gender resource center and obvious sort of overlaps. Why not meet them? They need to be part of the conversation. So yeah, that's how we began. So yeah, some of the, like, Tashi, like we said, a huge sort of inspiration. Faxi, a lot of great undigitized material. The guys who started off in the country and all of the rest who sort of came together, collaborated with advice, with resources. Thank you so much. I know some of you are here. All of you guys too. Like, it's been a great help, your support and whatever. Like, maybe we've not been always. I think this is a good opportunity to thank you all for being this. And yeah, like we said, like with every meeting, like we have this basic idea, like you saw my brief, but with every idea sort of like, this, I could feel this idea sort of taking shape, gathering dimension, issues we need to address and stuff like that. And parallelly, what we did is we looked at the existing resource portals on CSA that was across the internet. Yeah, so this was some of the resources that we looked on. CEOP, obviously, I think people have, like, it's the UK criminal justice system, social welfare guys. They sort of have a fantastic website called Think You Know, the NSPCCA, I think, sorry. This one? NSPCC, very sorry. But yeah, huge influence. And Mumsnet, which is like a really addictive parents forum, where sort of mothers give sort of opinions. It's like this really cult thing, which I got, like any internet thing you get addicted to, like not advisable unless you have lots of time, but it's mothers writing. It's kind of, it was very fascinating, like advice like I could never think of. Yeah, from the US, everybody I think knows the Mama Bear effect. Great sort of content. Darkness to Light, I don't know if you guys are here, but you guys gave us the idea for, yeah, infographics. Thank you very much. Like we were like, wow, look at this. Look at what an infographic can do to you. Data can really speak to you. That was really lovely. Thank you so much for the inspiration. Stop it now. Once again, like, it's a huge, like, CSA is a huge and complex issue. And there are so many areas to focus. And we were like, oh my God, like Stop It Now's already done that, like they had like family, yeah, safety plans and stuff like that. And we were like, okay, we don't need to make this again. We just need to adapt it. So, and like coming from that 8 months perspective, like it was fantastic. Yeah. Like yesterday, they were saying that reporters don't have a thing. That's completely wrong. There is something, and the inspiration came from the Dart Center of Journalism. Again, like we said, definitely not working on CSA, but working on journalism and trauma. So like a huge help. And Prevent Connect is something Vidya sort of pointed us out to. Again, very helpful. Yeah, in Cambodia now, from like Cambodia, Aple, an organization that is doing cutting edge work in online safety, a huge influence on our own online safety module and page. From Thailand, Hug Project, they've been a supporter, sort of, more like a moral support thing, and they're still our friends and collaborators. And ECPAT, of course, everybody knows, fantastic sort of global data and resources. Pakistan's Rozan, like we said, we found a lack of resources addressing semi-urban and rural spaces, but they seem to have a series of 10-minute animation videos that speak to like a, I wouldn't say exactly a rural audience, but definitely like a small town, a semi-urban audience. So it's just like, which is lacking in India as of now. Yeah, so of course, great working with, like, this for the whole thing. Like, some of them, they sort of joined the RM Safety Network. They became national and international sort of collaborators. And we still have a good working relationship with some of them. So that was a fantastic process. And it's not just the individuals. A large part of our look and feel of our website is these photos, which were donated to us by this photographer in Chennai. We just reached out to him. We saw his photos on Flickr. Now, what you will see is interesting is, there's no fear-based approach. There is an idea of beauty. We are talking about the culture of child protection. Culture involves certain aesthetics. You can't scare people into and say that this is the culture you need to follow. No. And also, like, we are very clear कि because it's a CSA website, बच्चों का identity नहीं दिखना चाहिए. Like we don't have the permission of the child. Why are we putting the child on a CSA website? What if that information leaks out? So this guy, he believes in shadow photography, blurring, like, this is something that's fate, I can't attribute it to anything else, but he like freely gave all his photos, and that was like a fantastic contribution to the website. Yeah, so when you work on something, it looks like this, it makes sense, but it doesn't at the same time. So, like, we first thought it should be a map. Then we thought, अरे Wikipedia type कुछ बनाते हैं. Then we were like, let's make a directory. You lose things, you keep things. Slowly, 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 what is, in the beginning, ultimate chaos. Slowly begins shape, and then, poof. Yeah, we launched it on the, we launched it on one day before the, क्या था ये, Prevention of Child Abuse Day on the 19th, and it was an idea again suggested to us by one of our safety network members, Vidya. Can we have the video, please? Okay, sorry. Wait a minute, video. So it's like there's no internet here. I would have loved to take you on a guided tour across the website, which is what I love to do all the time. Even if you have a relative also, you'll get that pleasure imposed upon you. But since we can't, we are going to give you like we made a small video. It's 24 minutes long. No, it's 4 minutes long. Okay, so please, like, be patient. It's our first attempt at a video, my first attempt at editing. Okay, some people said the sound is too loud and all that. Just adjust, and 4 minutes, a guided tour through rmindia.org. Thank you. Post video, please. Thank you. Yeah, so you guys can access it on your mobile, like when you're, I know there's no net connection here, but please do look at it, and it's always a work in progress. It's never going to be the perfect thing, but the thing is to keep working on it. And yeah, so I'm going to talk yeah, so just it's been about 11 months it has launched since the website's been launched. So like a couple of numbers, like how um, yeah, so 18 new organizations, and like these are smaller groups, okay, that we didn't know about, and they're coming in from sort of Bihar, they're coming in from UP, they're coming in from MP, a lot of them are coming in from Odisha. They've been sort of registering on our website, they want to actively use our resources, they want to get in touch, they want to be, it's definitely the smaller, I can't speak for the bigger organizations, but I can definitely say it's the smaller organizations, the ones who are sort of beginning the work, who are sort of being impacted by, this being put online. We get around 3,000 visitors to our portal every month, and sort of a return traffic of 30%, which is kind of like, I feel healthy at this stage, because it's like people are sort of using it, coming back for more. So 30% I think is a pretty nice figure. So we're kind of happy about that. Yes, so like we said, we've been able to provide like, support to small organizations in Maharashtra, in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. They sort of got in touch with us. We organized like an online training for them. And it's very easy, once you give them the training, then they know what to do with the website. Like I know thousands of people are getting trained every year, no, in CSA. And then like, how do they keep in touch with the issue? This is sort of like a way to, for them to keep engaged, for them to keep on using resources. They want to use, materials for their training, stuff like that. Yeah. So, and yeah, and then this was surprising. Like we got a lot of Hindi content from this group in Vrindavan, which I think is like speaks to like the reach of the internet. I don't know, she was supposed to be here. Shweta, yeah, Shweta Goswami, yeah, she, oh yeah, oh okay, that would have been awesome actually if she would have come, yeah. Yes, so they've been making a coloring book on personal safety in Hindi. So now we've started like, that we had this worry about how to branch out into vernacular languages. So now she's come on board, she's helping us translate a lot of stuff. So that has been great. Yeah, and I'm going to briefly run through to how you can use it, 5 ways in which you can use the Child Safety and You website. Now we've divided it into 8 stakeholders. Everybody knows the stakeholders. It's like parents, teachers, doctors, lawyers, academicians. Oh, thank you. And yeah, so I'm going to run through this. So basically, you just need to start from the beginning of the page, go till the end. It's a linear process. You keep learning more and more. There is a learning curve. You will be good, fairly decent at the issue by the time you finish the end of the page. And it will be in a simple, straightforward format in which you can understand. There will be links to more complicated resources. Yeah, like we said, this is the infographics. This is about how to simplifying POXO. POXO has implications for all of us. It's not easy to understand. So we sort of built, so this is the English version, this is the Marathi version. Every organization needs this on their wall. It is there on our website. Download it, print it, use it, disseminate it. You want to remix it, you can do that as well. Like everything is, yeah. So safety network, all of you guys, those who have joined in, thank you. Those who have not joined in, please write into us. If you're having issues, we are always there. Like, this is where you can come in and sort of join the movement. And we, please sign in. Yeah, this is, yeah. Yeah, and then these are pages. Now, what is POXO is, without a doubt, the simplest page on the internet anywhere for you to understand the current law on child protection. It is the simplest page, and this I will tell you 110%, and it is also pretty comprehensive. We also, like our team there who's sitting back there, has handwritten the entire POXO document so that it becomes easy for you to cut, copy, and paste it, which is not there in the government thing. ABCs of CSA, like a very simple interactive way of FAQs, which I think you'll enjoy. And we also have a page on online safety, which we're planning to update in the near future. Aram, like how Jimmy Wales, who's the founder of Wikipedia, said, it's not content that matters, it's the conversation. So, what I've come here to say is that, please do contribute to rmindia.org. Your resources are valuable. It's all of us who've made it. We've just put it together. Like, it's 40% creation on our side, but 60% is curation. It's the resources that were already there. We are happy to amplify your voices. We will give you full credit. Let's just start centralizing the information is what I feel. And this is what we believe in. Information wants to be set free, and now we realize there are already some 3 or 4 RMs. So it's never gonna come to the start of the Google search so soon. And that was one of the briefs given to me ki child sexual abuse in India search karte hi RM aana chahiye. I have not been successful as of yet. So what I did was I created the Wikipedia page for child sexual abuse in India. So I put out the information that we had collated into the public domain. So now when you click child sexual abuse in India, you get a reliable wiki page that has been curated, and so it's not just RM India for us, it's about putting the information out there for people to use. Yeah, this is what we wanted to say. Collaboration is at the heart of everything you do. It's how we started. It's the ethos of the thing, and that's what I'm here. I think the call for action that I have for you guys is like, please do collaborate with us. That's like that's really the only thing that will take this project forward. Similarly with the wiki project, this is how things will move forward, how things will come together. Yeah. Now this is the question that a lot of folks sort of ask us: why does Aram not have a search button? We forgot. like like there are things that there are challenges met, there are challenges we are still, there are plans for the future. We are working on it. We are working on a search button, we are working on a counselor's page. It's almost done. If somebody would volunteer to vet it for us, a counselor here, it would be great. We are working on a folk. Thank you very much. Everybody says this when I pitch it, but yeah. So we need. Okay. Okay, we need translators. So please, however you can pitch in with whatever time you want. We have enough, stuff that if you can help out, you're the subject matter experts. You need to come in at some point, like we've put it out there. Now you really need to come in and give good shape to this. Thank you, for that. And yes, finally, the fox. So yeah, with this, it's the end. So thank you very much.